Assalamu alaikum and welcome to day 5 of Aqsa Week Kids. In today's story, we will be learning about a very special companion. His name was Shaddad bin Aus radiallahu anhu. Shaddad was an Ansari, which means that he was from the blessed city of Medina. He also had the great honour of looking after the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Muslims who had migrated from Mecca to Medina during the Hijrah. Shaddad's father's name was Aus bin Thabit radiallahu anhu, and his uncle was actually the famous poet of the Prophet Hassan bin Thabit radiallahu anhu. Our story today begins in Mecca. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam had now received prophethood. He had begun to invite the people to Islam. It was so tough for the Muslims. They were being severely persecuted and treated so badly by the Meccans. Many Meccans who were the idol worshippers, they didn't want to leave their bad ways and rejected the message of Islam. It was now time for Hajj, and people came from all over Arabia to perform this sacred journey. It was during this Hajj that something amazing happened. There was a group of 6 people, and they had come from Medina to Mecca to perform Hajj. There, they happened to meet the Prophet. The Prophet spoke to them about Islam, and after listening very carefully and hearing the beautiful words of the Quran, Allah blessed them with Islam and filled their hearts with Iman. After returning to Medina, the people requested to the Prophet to send a teacher from Mecca who could teach them the Quran and how to be good Muslims. Now, as you can imagine, this would be a very important job. But who would the Prophet choose? The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam chose a young companion. His name was Musab ibn Umair radiallahu anhu. Now Musab's story is so inspirational. Do you know that he was a rich kid of Mecca? He wore the best clothes, the best shoes and the most expensive perfume. This boy had it all and everybody wanted to be like Musab. Musab then accepted Islam and he left all his riches. He dedicated his time to learning the Holy Quran. He loved the Prophet so much and would carefully listen to the teachings of the Prophet. Musab radiallahu anhu may not have had the honour of being the famous rich kid of Mecca anymore, but he had the honour of being known as one of the first teachers and the first ambassadors of Islam. He had the most wonderful character and manners. Allah blessed him with so much knowledge and wisdom. The Prophet chose Musab over many other companions to go to Medina and to teach the people the message of Islam. Not only was Musab a great teacher, but he won the people's hearts because of his beautiful character. So many people and so many tribes accepted Islam in Medina because of Musab ibn Umair radiallahu anhu. As the Hajj season drew near once again, the people of Medina prepared for their journey to Mecca. Oh, the people were so excited that they were finally going to meet the Prophet. This was someone they had only heard about. Amongst the group from Medina, there was a man named Aus bin Thabit radiallahu anhu, who had accepted Islam at the hands of Musab. He also had a son whose name was Shaddad. Aus bin Thabit and the group from Medina met the Prophet in Aqaba. They had to be careful and meet in secret so that the Meccans wouldn't find out. During the meeting with the Prophet, the group from Medina learnt how the Muslims were being treated so badly in Mecca. Without any hesitation, the whole group promised the Prophet safety and security for the Muslims if they were to migrate to Medina. This promise was known as a promise or the pledge of Aqaba. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ appreciated the kindness of the people of Medina, and he also appreciated the incredible hard work Musab ibn Umair radiallahu anhu had done whilst in Medina. The persecution and hardship of the Muslims in Mecca continued. Allah commanded the Muslims in Mecca to migrate to the safety of Medina. There they would be safe. This journey was known as a hijrah. After such a long and hard journey through the hot, burning desert, the Prophet ﷺ finally arrived to Medina. So many people, men, women, and children gathered in the narrow streets of Medina to meet their beloved Prophet. Shaddad was just a young boy then. Oh, he was so excited. The people of Medina sang the words of joy. Their Prophet had arrived. The Hijrah was now complete. After years of persecution, the Muslims were now safe, and Medina had now become their home. The Muslims of Mecca, who were known as the Muhajirun, had now started their new lives in Medina. As you can imagine, it wasn't easy for them. They had left their homes, their belongings, their friends, and their businesses behind. Many came with nothing but a few belongings, and now they had to rebuild their lives. They also missed Mecca. This was where they had grown up. It was their home. The Prophet made a special dua. O Allah, make Medina as dear to us as Mecca was, or even dearer. The people of Medina were so kind and generous. They always tried their best to make the Muhajirun feel welcome and treat them just like family. Because of this kindness, the people of Medina became known as the Ansar, which means the helpers. The Prophet ﷺ helped create a strong bond between the Muhajirun and the Ansar. Each Ansar would look after and care for a Muhajir. The Muhajir became a member of their family. Oh, the Ansar were so incredibly kind. They would share everything. They shared their home, their food, even shared their money and businesses, just like a family. Shaddad and his family were so excited as they waited to see which Muhajir they would be paired with. As they waited with anticipation, they couldn't believe it. It was the great companion Uthman ibn Affan radiallahu anhu and his wife Ruqayyah radiallahu anha, who was the Prophet's beloved daughter. Both Uthman and his wife Ruqayyah lived and stayed in Shaddad's house. Shaddad and his family were so pleased to have able to take care of the Prophet's daughter and Uthman. As a young boy, Shaddad became a close companion of Uthman, and he was so blessed that he could learn from such a senior companion. Shaddad radiallahu anhu was also very close to the Prophet and would directly learn from him. Because of this, Shaddad became known for being not only a good, pious Muslim, but he became known for his knowledge and wisdom. Even though Shaddad was only a child when the Prophet came to Medina, some of the greatest companions, such as Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu and Abu Darda radiallahu anhu, who were known for their knowledge, would praise Shaddad's ability. Indeed, he was blessed by Allah. Abu Darda once said, "Every ummah has an expert in religious law, and our expert is Shaddad bin Aus radiallahu anhu." And this just shows us how much respect everyone had for Shaddad radiallahu anhu. Shaddad radiallahu anhu was also a great teacher. and would take every opportunity to teach his knowledge to the people. One day, Shaddad looked very sad. The Prophet ﷺ noticed that Shaddad was sad and made dua for him. The Prophet told Shaddad something amazing. He said, "Do not feel distress, O Shaddad. Damascus will be conquered. Jerusalem will be conquered. Masjid Al-Aqsa will come under Muslim rule. You, yourself, your children will be the imams there, inshaAllah." On hearing this, Shaddad became happy and joyful. Palestine and Masjid Al-Aqsa at the time of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was under the rule of the Romans. The Prophet told his companions that one day Jerusalem will be under Muslim rule and Masjid Al-Aqsa will once again be returned to the worship of Allah. It was in fact 6 years after our Prophet passed away that this came true. The leader of the Muslims, Umar radiallahu anhu, conquered Jerusalem peacefully, and the Roman Patriarch gave Umar radiallahu anhu the keys to Jerusalem. Shaddad radiallahu anhu eventually left Medina and he moved to the blessed land of Palestine with his family. In Palestine, Shaddad, with his deep understanding of fiqh and knowledge, continued to guide the people and teach them the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Shaddad was known for his good character and his clear, eloquent speech. Shaddad's sons became one of the first imams of Masjid Al-Aqsa. This is what the Prophet ﷺ had foretold. Shaddad spent the rest of his life in the blessed land of Palestine, close to the sacred Masjid Al-Aqsa. This amazing companion, Shaddad bin Aus radiallahu anhu, died in Palestine and is buried in Babur Rahmah cemetery, which is next to Masjid Al-Aqsa. If you visit Masjid Al-Aqsa, you can also visit the cemetery and make dua for those who rest there. Palestine is not only the land of the prophets, but many companions of the Prophet had a special connection to this sacred land and to Masjid Al-Aqsa. The companions knew just how special Masjid Al-Aqsa is and just how special the land of Palestine and Jerusalem is. Many companions travelled to Palestine, to the holy city of Jerusalem, to pray there. Some travelled to Masjid Al-Aqsa to gain the reward of putting on their ihram before beginning their Hajj or Umrah. Many lived there, preached there, and many companions are buried in this special land. Later, Palestine also became known as the land of the scholars, as so many scholars were born and lived there. Did you know the great scholar Imam Shafi was actually born in Gaza? The sacred Masjid Al-Aqsa became known as a centre of learning and meditation. So many thousands of pious people and scholars migrated and settled in the holy city of Jerusalem. Many scholars, such as Imam Ghazali, would teach in the Masjid Al-Aqsa. How special is Masjid Al-Aqsa and Palestine? This is where our story ends. But what doesn't end is our love and du'as for Masjid Al-Aqsa and Palestine. May Allah protect Masjid Al-Aqsa and the people of Palestine. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.